Hey guys, Nikki here, and welcome back to the Lucha Underground Power Rankings. Now, it's been a day or two since I've done one of these, so for those of you who don't know what this is, basically, this is kind of a kinda kayfabe way of showing who are the baddest dudes in Lucha Underground, and basically where everybody stands in the promotion. And the reason that I decided to do this now is because Lucha Underground is actually coming back from its mid-season hiatus this Wednesday. So this is kind of a good way to catch anybody who may have missed a few episodes or may have just forgot what the storylines are since it's been so long, up to speed now that we're a couple of days away from it coming back. So before we get into the top 15, let's knock out a couple of honorable mentions, starting with Dante Fox and Killshot. Now, these two guys seem like they're in the middle of a really, really intense personal feud that stretches back to Killshot's Army days. And, whew, they've had a couple of really good matches, including the one-on-one match that they had back at episode 12, and the four-way match as one of the Battle of the Bulls qualifiers that also involved Mariposa and Jeremiah Crane, which, oh my god! Whew. We're going to be talking about that match at some point. Trust me on this one. The only reason that they aren't quite in the top 15 yet is because so far Killshot has been on the losing end, and I don't want to put Dante Fox up too high because he just got to Lucha Underground. So maybe once this builds up a little bit more, then they'll enter the top 15, but as of right now, they are just outside. Next up, the Lotus Triad. Now, I want to put these guys inside the top 15. Believe me, I really do. But there's just one big thing that's kinda maybe sorta keeping that from happening. Kairi Hojo, who has just been signed by WWE, played Hitokiri, who is basically the Lotus Triad's ace. She was the one who got the pin on Pentagon. So, ooh, that's messy. Like, as we've seen before, Lucha Underground contracts, they're tough and they don't really get along with WWE. So, we'll see where that goes. I'm kind of interested in seeing how they'll get around this one. Hopefully they make it work somehow. Also, since we're talking about him, Pentagon Dark. He's got two borked arms. Poor guy. Can't say he didn't have it coming. Next up, PJ Black, Jack Evans, and Taya. These guys don't win matches. They just don't. Between the three of them, they've only won one time all season, and that was PJ Black winning his qualifier to get into the finals of the Battle of the Bulls, which he lost. So, like, Jack Evans hasn't won a thing all season, and Taya is injured now, so, Next up is Mariposa. Like, the crowd's really starting to get into her. Like, I get the feeling that after the No Mas match, it's gotten to the point where everybody's just kind of respected Mariposa because she can just kind of go. And Creative is taking note and I guess they're turning her face, maybe? Kinda? She had her get ambushed by Marty the Moth, so I guess that might lead to a feud between the two, although they did have a thing right at the end of the last episode of the mid-season where Mariposa kidnapped Marty the Moth, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll get a feud between the two. Maybe there's some weird, crazy thing that Marty has planned. I don't know, but I'm interested. So there's that. The only reason I don't have Mariposa higher is, again, she doesn't win a lot. Next up, Son of Havoc. Man, he's in the doldrums right now. Like, I really thought that he had a shot of main eventing Ultima Lucha Trace, and there's still a slight chance, but they're gonna really need to pull him like up quick, because right now he's just kind of languishing in the lower card. He was in a feud with Famous B, which is admittedly fun, but it's low card stuff. And now he's got nothing going on. I think he was supposed to be in a thing with Angelico, but he got hurt. and maybe he's doing something with Worldwide Underground. I don't know. It's just not a lot going on right now. They could still bring him up and have him be a viable contender for the title, because in the first episode of Season 3, he did have a very impressive showing against Matanza, but he's done nothing since then. Well, he's done a little bit, but... Oh yeah, he beat Dr. Wagner. So that was cool. But still, no card. Snake Tribe! They're cool, I guess. I literally remember nothing about Pindar. But Viborar, I think Viborar is the tall one. Or Vibora is the tall one, I think. He's the one that people call Undersnaker. That's kind of cool. I prefer the term Baron Cobran. Snake Tribe! And finally, El Dragon Azteca Jr. The guy's a corpse. Moving on to the top 15. So starting off at number 15 is someone who was also recently a corpse, Prince Puma. But he got better. So there's that. So it seems kind of weird that, like, the biggest homegrown talent, I guess you could say, of Lucha Underground is so far down the list. A couple of reasons for that. Number one, his last loss was pretty big. Like, he died, canonically. He died. He's dead. He's a Zombo now. He's a Zambambo. Came back, and ever since then, he hasn't had a match. He's been training for something, presumably some type of match against Martez, but they're kind of drawing it out a little bit. If he would have had some kind of match between Grave Consequences and now, I would be more than happy to put him up a little higher, but as of right now, he's not doing anything, so he kind of has to come down a couple of notches. I'm sure he'll come up when he starts doing things, and when he does, the power rankings will change to reflect that. Number 14, Marty the Moth Martinez. Man, what a world we're living in where Marty the Moth is higher than Prince Puma. In a way, he's kind of the Bray Wyatt of Lucha Underground. He has this craziness to him. He's got a family with him, with like Mariposa, that he doesn't quite get along with at this point. He talks about having plans with people, and it's like, and on top of that, he loses. Yay! But the difference, though, that makes Marty the Moth's placement on the card a little more palatable is that he doesn't have that grand of plans. He's just kind of a crazy guy who appears in Lucha Underground. He doesn't talk about, I'm gonna take over the world, man. He's got the whole world in his hands. No, he's not that guy. He just is kind of nutso, and people enjoy it. So whenever he gets beat, like say by Killshot in the Weapons of Mass Destruction match, woo! What a fucking match right there. Or in the 4-way match with Mac, Martez, and Azteca, that was pretty good too. Nobody really has that huge of a problem with it. So, yeah, like, he's kind of a nut, but he gets good matches out of pretty much everyone he's in the ring with. So, get on him. Number 13, Tejano. This kind of feels like Tejano's pretty much permanent spot on these rankings. Like, he feels like a very good middle of the card kind of guy. So, you know, staying around the 11 to 15 range, that's about where he needs to be. And it kind of shows in the ring, because when he's in the ring with somebody who's higher on this list, like say Cage, he does not win those matches. Well, he doesn't win the majority of them, shall we say, since he lost the best of 5 series with Cage. But when he's going up against somebody lower than him, yeah, he'll win that one. Right now he's getting into a thing with Famous B. He'll probably win that thing, I think. The only problem, though, like I said with Son of Havoc, Famous B stuff is fun, but it always has the feeling of being stuff that you would see right at the bottom of the card. And I kind of hope that doesn't drag Tejano down too much. We'll see if it does, but as of right now, I feel comfortable putting him right there. Number 12, Drago. Drago has been enslaved and brainwashed by the Snake Tribe. Cool. I don't know, this whole feud that Drago's in, kind of bringing the Phoenix and Aerostar along with him, like, it all feels kind of silly, doesn't it? I know, but at some point you kind of gotta go. Like, I don't know what it is about this feud involving Cobra Moon and Drago. By the way, Cobra Moon's number 11. But, like, something about it just seems off. Like, maybe it's because, like, Vibora and Pindar kind of just feel there, and that's given me strong Disciples of Death vibes, so that's not great. Like, they're a little bit more personalized, but, like, Pindar feels like the Eric Rowan of the group. Like, he's there to eat pins. Like, when the eventual match happens between Drago, Aerostar, and Phoenix versus the Snake Tribe, if the Snake Tribe loses, which, unless Drago turns back on Phoenix and Aerostar, will probably happen, there's a 1,000 billion% chance that Pindar is eating the pin. Pindar's the short one, right? I think that's it. I hope I'm right on that one. But, yeah, Cobra Moon is a little bit higher on this list, only because she's the one who's kind of calling the shots. Or at least was. In episode 18, Drago kind of sort of realigned himself with Phoenix and Aerostar, but it seemed a little shaky, so maybe Cobra Moon still has her spell on him. But as of right now, they're doing okay, I guess. Number 10, Mil Muertes. This is kind of the thing with monsters. Like, you got the season 1 monster, Muertes, who is just unstoppable. Nobody can beat him, ever and forever. He's super unstoppable. I don't think he ate a pin once, like not one pin throughout the entirety of season 1. Then you get to season 2, he's still pretty unstoppable. He's got a skull throne. What? And then, whoa, surprise, he gets pinned in Aztec Warfare. Oh! And from there, the mystique starts kind of going down a little bit here and there and there and there. Like, not too much, but you notice it. Like, and already he's been pinned 3 times this season. How long did we have to go before he ate 3 pins in his entire Lucha Underground career? Like, granted, the people that he was pinned by, they're treating very well. Okay, he was pinned by Prince Puma, who he then killed. He was pinned by Sexy Star, who they book very strong. Say what you will about her, but eating a pin to Sexy Star isn't the worst thing. And then he ate a pin to Jeremiah Crane, which is surprising to say the least, but, like, they've been booking Jeremiah Crane quite strong ever since he debuted. And this is kind of sort of giving me King Cuerno vibes, because if you'll recall, King Cuerno pinned Mil Muertes near the end of season 2, and Mil Muertes responded to that by requesting a death match with King Cuerno, and we haven't seen King Cuerno since that match. So I hope for the best for Jeremiah Crane. But as of right now, once he starts picking up a couple more consistent wins, Mil Muertes will come right back up the list. But as of right now, he's kind of dropping a little bit. Number 9 and number 8, Aerostar and Phoenix. So they've got their friend back. They got into a fight in a bathroom, I believe with the Snake Tribe. I could be wrong on that. But, yeah. These guys are having a whole lot of weird stuff happening to them. Like, if you thought the nunchuck fight was weird, now they're fighting snakes in bathrooms. These are your trios champions, folks. But still, they do treat Phoenix and Aerostar like legitimate threats. They chased off the Snake Tribe, who are still pretty, like, they've still got that kind of aura to them, so they're treating Phoenix and Aerostar like a threat. I guess the only reason I have Phoenix higher is because Phoenix has a little bit more accolades on his side than Aerostar. I feel like they should start pushing Aerostar. Because, man, that guy can flip around a whole bunch. Like, a whole bunch. I kind of want him to win Gift of the Gods the next time that comes up. That'd be neat. Actually, now that I think about Gift of the Gods, what happened to Nightclaw? Like, he had one appearance in that match, and he's... I don't know. Number 7, Jeremiah Crane. Man, Solomon Crow, you're looking good. I like what you've done. Like, if you lost weight, you look good. I like it. So ever since he's shown up in Lucha Underground, he basically brought some wood clacker with him, because every time he kicks someone in the face that has the loudest ever... Did not mean for that to be so loud. I hope I didn't wake anybody up. And every one of his kicks has that sound, and it just sounds like he's just kicking everybody's face off, and it's great. He's got pump kicks for days. And they've been treating Jeremiah like he is somebody to really fear. Like, I think he's won all of his matches so far? Besides the Battle of the Bulls finals, which he made it to, so that was cool. And he has a pin on Mil Muertes, which is very cool. Not very many people can boast that. And he's someone new to the fray, but you can't argue with the fact that they're pushing the shit out of this guy. That's pretty cool. Also, from what I've heard, he's kind of like the main creative force in CZW now, which is really starting to turn a corner from the, like, all deathmatch all the time stuff. Like, they aren't like that anymore. And Jeremiah Crane, under his Sami Callihan name, is kind of at the forefront of that, which is cool. Like, I kind of hope it doesn't take away from the Jeremiah Crane stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, they're booking Jeremiah quite strong, and I like it. Oh, by the way, that four-way match in the semifinals between Jeremiah, Mariposa, Killshot, and Dante Fox. Whew. That may have been the craziest match I've ever seen that I had no idea was going to be that crazy going in. Wow. Like, that match was something special. I need to show all of my friends that match. I'm going to show all my friends that match. Like, wow. Number 6, Sexy Star. Former Lucha Underground champion, former Gift of the Gods champion. Like, the never-ending Sexy Star push continues. Like, I don't want to say that she's the Roman Reigns of Lucha Underground, because she does have... Like, you can very easily tell the portion of the crowd that is really, really into Sexy Star. So, yeah. Although Roman Reigns does kind of have that. She's the Roman Reigns of Lucha Underground. Fuck! But either way, she does not lose a whole bunch of her matches. Like, I think the only matches that she's lost lately have been, like, the match where she lost Gift of the Gods and the match where she lost the Lucha Underground title. Aside from that, they make sure that she does not eat a whole lot of pins. And she just won Aztec Warfare 3. So, yeah. Can't put her too low on this list. And in her most recent appearance, she beat the crap out of Mariposa some more. So, that's always fun. Also, it seems like they finally committed to a finisher with her with the double stomp. That works. I'm always down for a good coup de grace. Number 5, Matanza. Why am I putting the undefeated, unstoppable Lucha Underground champion who may have killed 2 people at number 5? Simple. He may have died himself. Like, at the end of the most recent episode, he went tumbling through the storage room area, and that's what prompted the whole mid-season break, at least in kayfabe. Like, Dario Cueto saw that and was like, "Get the hell out of my temple!" When did Dario become Italian? But yeah, I'm sure Matanza is not dead, but at the same time, they've been starting to do a couple of interesting little things. Like, we'll get to Cage in a little bit, but it seems like that best of 5 series win. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we'll get to him. But it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens going forward with Matanza, seeing as how he basically died. He went through the same fall that El Dragón Azteca did. Now, granted, Matanza is a god in a human body, and El Dragón Azteca is a really good professional wrestler. Like, there's a difference there, but like, if he comes back and is not dead and hasn't lost any power, I will have no problem putting him right back at number 1 for the next one of these videos. But for right now, Matanza could possibly be a corpse. And even if he is a corpse, I still think he's stronger than 90% of the Lucha Underground roster. So, he's got that going for him. Number 4, The Mac. This is why I like Lucha Underground so much. Because they've taken a guy who we really, really like, and they've just pushed the holy shit out of him, and it's making him seem like a legitimate badass threat. Like, that would, like, this whole thing would be like if they decided to give, like, Cesaro a world title shot on Raw. Like, they're treating Mac like such a fucking badass. Like, on the most recent episode, Johnny Mundo was talking all kinds of shit. He was talking shit about everyone under the sun. And then finally Mac came out. Mundo ran off, tried to get Black and Evans in there to beat him up a little bit. He handed out stunners to everyone. Oh, hell yeah! Took out like a half a dozen security nerds. Like, oh man, it was so good. So good. And now in the next episode coming up, we have Mac versus Mundo all night long. All night long. Is he gonna win the title? A part of me says maybe. Like, I'd say there's like a 15% chance he walks out of the next episode as Lucha Underground champion. And if he does, I will be such a happy little boy. I do know that if that is the case, then that he's just a transitional champion so that they can get the title back on Matanza. I know that's true. Although I wouldn't mind them going straight from Mundo to Matanza, because Mundo does have a lot of beef with Dario, so that would be satisfying. But hey, as the saying goes, always bet on Mac. It's a good line. I like that one. Number 3, they call him Cage. So Cage apparently earned himself lead role in The Man with the Iron Fist 3. Good for him. That's a good role. Like, that'll get you places. RZA! So Cage won the best of 5 series with Tejano, which that last match, good, very good. I like it, very good. And Cage earned himself an iron gauntlet that seems to be making him angrier, stronger, and more aggressive. Because if there was anything that was missing from Cage, it was more anger and strength. So Matanza might be mortally wounded, or at least his body is, but he's a god, like, in this body. So what if they decide to, I don't know, since Matanza is dead now, transition him into Cage? Oh god! And what about Matanza's current body? Could he possibly maybe show up as the red hot Jeff Cobb? He's very popular in the indies, so I think that would be kind of fun. But this is about Cage right now, and Cage he's on a roll right now. I think he could very easily take the title off of Johnny Mundo. He's beat him a bunch of times in the past, so I don't think it would be that surprising if he were to pull it off. Number 2, the Lucha Underground champion, Johnny Mundo. So Johnny Mundo, like, at this point, he's everything that I would have hoped that Johnny Mundo would be. Like, he's a douchebag, like, pretty boy heel. He's got an entourage. Like, it's good. He's got adoring fans. Like, did you see that thing when Ricky Mandel, I think that was Ricky Mandel, showed up with, like, the package for Sexy Star and he couldn't stop gushing over Johnny Mundo? That's what I like. Because it's like, why wouldn't Johnny Mundo, who's basically Lucha Underground's rock star, not have adoring fans like that? It just makes so much sense. And he's been booked quite well during his reign as Lucha Underground champion. Admittedly, it hasn't been that long. I think his only feuds so far have been with Sexy Star and now the Mac. Like, kayfabe-wise, he's not stronger than those two, but, like, he's got his groupies with him. He's got Evans, Black, Taya, and maybe at some point he'll throw in Ricky Mandel. I'm fine with that. But yeah, this thing with Mundo, very good. And finally, number 1, Rey Mysterio. Nobody can stop Rey Mysterio. Ever. Forever. He is king. He is El Rey. Whoa. So Rey Mysterio, ever since he basically showed up in Lucha Underground, has been unstoppable. Like, he's been the face Matanza. Which kinda tells you, at some point, they're gonna collide and it's gonna be big! Like, I get the feeling that that's going to be the main event of Ultima Lucha Tres. Like, you're gonna have Matanza versus Rey Mysterio, and either Ray picks up the Lucha Underground title, which it would make sense, seeing as how I think the only time he was pinned was during Aztec Warfare 3, and that was after he got moited by freaking Matanza. So, even more, like, reason for that to happen. Or, Matanza will fucking kill Ray, write him off story, and be like, I'm the guy who retired Rey Mysterio. Aren't I cool? And now, basically, Rey got his revenge on Matanza for putting him out of action by putting him out of action for a little while. And right after the death match that he had with Dragon Azteca, he basically did a back body drop over the guardrail at the top of the stairs, and he sent Matanza through the storage room roof, and he disappeared, never to be seen again. Well, he'll probably be seen again, but, like, disappeared until now. So, yeah, Rey Mysterio right now is the baddest dude in Lucha Underground. Like, if you beat him, he might kill you. And the crowd will love it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's your power rankings as of right now. Make sure you check out this week's episode of Lucha Underground. Make sure that they get those ratings, because I want this show to keep going, because it's so good. But that's all for me for this week. See y'all later. Rizzo! Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.